Yes. Hello, Toastmasters, distinguished guests that are online on Zoom. So, could you imagine my life where there has to be discussions made about your shifts, specifically when you realize you're running out of staff? So, my boss gathered me and another two fellow co-workers of ours and had to rearrange shifts, but also trying to reach a consensus on these shifts. Now you can imagine when there's a change of shifts, some people are like, oh, come on, no, or I don't want to change them. And this is the predicament I'm in. So me and my colleague were deciding what was the best way to reach the shifts so that we could work with management. And this was a very unique discussion, given that we were short-staffed. And I told my boss I would go back to evenings, something I hadn't done in about 5 years working in my. And I said I would go back home. My other colleague agreed because I had the flexibility to come at that time. And he said he would come and do the afternoons if it's better suited to him, which was another consensus, so we both agreed. And then we found out later on that the third person, who was not there at the time, he managed to agree to his other two shifts. So it was a win-win for the boss and more money in my pocket. Not that I mentioned anything. That leads to a whole another story. But there was also another story in my mind when it comes to Christmas parties. Now, Christmas parties are supposed to unite staff. But you can imagine trying to reach a consensus about what food we're going to eat, especially around Christmas time. That's a tough challenge. And my management delegated this decision to another colleague, who I also had to get the consensus of all the staff in the store. Now, could you imagine what was running through my fellow colleagues' mind, knowing which people were going to come, how to get all those shifts covered, and trying to tell that to the boss? I wouldn't want that. I would have said, I'm getting out of here. But my colleague tried to decide what was in the best interest for everybody. But given that it's hard because some people in our store, they're vegetarian, so it sort of limits the. Also, trying to find a place that's mutually agreeable, because I'm the only one person I don't enjoy. Most of my colleagues at that point, they do. So it had to be somewhere where I could reach. At the same time, not too far for them to travel, right? So this was a very long debate. My colleague decided on specific days when the weekend would be the easiest. That way that everyone could come and it's at a more specifically dinner time. Especially when it's Christmas party, I love to. Especially when the boss is paying for it. Feels a bit better. But we tried to reach a consensus, but the worst part is management didn't decide to show up. Also, there's some other people who also didn't want to show up. So it was a consensus between my colleague and about 3 others that we all agreed we would go and have a stay. And trust me, it was worth it. But other than that, I will leave it. And that is the end of my speech. Enjoy.